What's going on, everyone? This is Jay from Premier Gaming Entertainment, here to bring to you my predictions video for this week's game, Week 3 versus Central Michigan. Before I get started, please, if you can, leave a like on the video, as it definitely helps the channel out. And, leave me a comment in the comment section below. How do you feel about this game? Do you feel that Michigan's going to bounce back? Do you think that they're going to struggle again? Is it going to be somewhere in between? Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section below. And as always, if you enjoy my content, definitely subscribe to the channel. So anyways, let's get started with it. It's funny, this year, with slight variations, so far has almost been mirroring how the season started last year. Obviously, some things are different. We actually have a quarterback who can actually throw a forward pass. But, on the flip side, there are some other concerns in other key positions, which still leaves, in general, this air of uncertainty with the team. So, it's kind of the same. We're in the same boat as we were last year. And it seems weird to say that, but it's true. Last year, the first game, we won in relatively easy fashion, but the game was closer than one would think that it should have been. And then, we played an SEC team and, we lost, and we lost decisively. And after that game, it threw everything into a frenzy as far as, what to expect from this team. And so far, like I said, while some things are different, some things are still the same. And it still leads people to be kind of weary about where this team is going to finish. And a lot of it's going to have to do with how much they actually trust Bryce, how quickly they're going to move along with his progression. I know it's going to definitely depend on how quickly he learns and, how quickly that he can ascend as far as his ability. The talent is there, but, it takes more than just talent alone in order to get to a position of just being a great quarterback and a great leader. So I think, I honestly feel as though people are overreacting from, what happened in the Oklahoma game. Don't get me wrong. I made my prediction. I felt that Michigan could have won that game. And from watching the game, even though, it looked like Michigan was getting dominated in some fashion, getting pushed around, the opportunities were still there for them to win. I understand to a certain degree their conservative play style. It was almost and I could be wrong with this, and people, you may disagree with what I'm about to say, but it was almost as though, I'm not going to say that they were willing to lose the game, but it's almost as though it was okay for them to not come out of that game with a victory. They weren't playing to win, it almost seemed. And I know that sounds crazy, but they didn't want to put Bryce in, just throw him out there to the wolves. They were real conservative with their play calling. Didn't want him to run. Didn't want him to pass a whole lot. Just really had the training wheels out tried to protect him as much as they could, from basically, I guess you could say, from himself. And, it was just evident that they weren't going to do a whole lot and put him in a position where they were asking him to do a whole lot. Now, he was put in certain situations where he had to make plays just based off of how Oklahoma was playing defense and stifling their run game for the most part. But they weren't just letting him, go out there, just let it rip, just throw the ball all over the place, anything like that. Very consistent, very conservative with the play calling, just trying to keep him in a bubble and protect him from himself. So will that change? I think it will eventually over the course of the season. You're going to see him, as the season progresses and he gets more and more confidence and learns to play more, sees the field better. I'm sure they're going to give him more opportunities to make plays. But until then, it's going to be the same strategy where they're basically trying to protect him and, just try to win the game with the run game and defense alone. So, I get it, but it's unfortunate because, it's that game was winnable. You're going to have a test in a couple of weeks, which I'm happy that we're playing this Central Michigan game so that, they can work on some things that they need to work on. That New Mexico game, I felt was a preseason game to this game that they just played in Oklahoma. And, it was a tough test. Don't get me wrong. And obviously the situation in the moment was too big for him as being a freshman in his second start period, his first on the road, a night game in in a hostile environment. So, this game will be to me just almost like the New Mexico game, kind of gearing him up for this next test, which is going to be another big test. It's your first Big Ten road game. Is against a team that, for argument's sake, is just like Michigan, vying for probably one of the lower end playoff spots. So this is going to be a very, very, very important matchup. They're going to be without their head coach. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about the Central Michigan game. Like I said, I feel like this is going to be kind of like a warm-up game to the Nebraska game. They're going to work on some things. They're trying, hopefully we're going to get some guys back, like Rod Moore, Shamari Earls, Marlon Klein, hopefully, have those guys back and get them, in the rotation so that, we're ready for that Nebraska game. Key with this game, I don't think Central Michigan is all that great. So it's just going to be work on the things that they need to work on to improve. Try to get healthy and, just try to learn more of the playbook, get more confidence and, just come out of that game without any injuries. So as far as my prediction for the game, I don't think that this is going to be a close game. It's at home. So I think this is going to be, pretty convincing win for Michigan. It's not going to be some huge blowout, but I feel as though they're going to win comfortably. So my prediction for the game is 35-7 Michigan. That's my prediction for the game. Anyways, thank you for watching. As always, if you please leave a like on the video, as it definitely helps out my channel. If you enjoy the content, definitely subscribe to the channel and leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know how you feel about the game. Anyways, thank you for watching, and as always, go blue.